Hey everybody, welcome. Where we're all about building brands that survey is it's bittersweet because I'm in one of those moods where I'm ready to shut down. But we're celebrating today because as your host, Bonnie Bonadeo here, this is our 75th episode. When you do something that consistent for as long as you have, and you start to make a little bit of progress, maybe not the progress that you're hoping for, but certainly some progress. And you're putting yourself tired. I'm exhausted. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not good enough. I'm not good enough. I need help. Who do I ask for help from? Do I have to pay for help? Is there somebody out there that will just, support me? Or do I have to pay for that kind of support? And really what it's coming down to is today we're talking about a course correct. Now, the 75, including today, episodes that I've done, as it has been for the industry, as much for me as it has been to help people see that, listen, we're all human and we're all going to struggle through some of this life, some of what's going on right now. And life is hard right now, right? Everything just feels a little bit harder. Everything feels like it's a little bit more work. And the truth is I'm on the summer and really putting myself in a place of rejuvenation. Yeah. So, there's this power of leaning and learning. And as I'm on this course correction, I am questioning myself whether I'm in that state of insanity where it's like, do I keep doing things the same way and getting the same results? And how do you shift from doing things the same way and getting the same results to stop doing them and do something differently? Yet sometimes we don't always know what that different is. And one of the things that I did is I went and sat in some classes at the ABS show recently with some of my coaching friends. And I was at Data Driven this past weekend with many of my industry friends and family. And I sat there taking copious notes and being in that learning mode. And I was leaning on other people to be able to give me some sense of direction, whether it meant educating me on something I should do or something new, or just listening to me and being reading all that I have done up to this point in regards to that. So these events were very good, very good. They're very good events. And I want to implement and put into place from the Data Driven event this past weekend, which focuses more on my role of being in the salon as the marketing and communications director than necessarily my role as a coach. However, because the content is very worthy for any salon owner or any one of my clients to hear, I'm still rehearsing and applying it for them to be putting some thought to in regards to their business. And of course, I will make sure that, credit goes where credit is due. So I'm not going to kind of, remanufacture it with my name on it. I'm going to say, this is what I learned from this coach. This is what I learned from this speaker. This is what I learned from this session. And because I'm fine sharing the wealth of it, if it helps my clients, that's great. If it helps me in my position in the salon, that's great through this. And also that questioning of, am I doing things the same way and expecting a different result? Framework that I talk about. And one of the things that I'm doing now is I'm taking this and I'm actually putting it into some usable content that will be available for you guys through my site. So it's just going to be, you log on when you want, you watch what you want, but it's going to kind of take you through some of the foundational element pieces of the SOS framework and how it can help you as a small business owner or a salon business owner to be able to look at these particular areas of your business because they're the anchors, they're the foundation. And you have to be able to recognize all of them in there. So sales, operations, mindset, marketing, and education. I always say that when I'm with my clients, 50% of my time is in mindset. Okay, and is in marketing. Now, in the mix of all of that, am I still providing a sales conversation or an education conversation? Absolutely. Okay, but it is mostly a mindset conversation that I'm having with my clients, and frankly, it's a mindset conversation that I need to be having with where I'm at. And because what do we do when we feel like this? When we feel lost? When we feel irrelevant? When we feel aged out? When we feel tired and frustrated? When we are trying too hard, again, that definition of insanity, not getting a different result. When we are feeling unfulfilled or passionless, overwhelmed, or we're just over it. Okay. And they say that, when than anything else, what is that number one thing that you want out of life than anything else? And traditionally people would say, oh, I want happiness. And it's not true. That's not what they say. You know what they say? They want to be fulfilled. So in other words, they want to fill up their cup, but also in order to fill up your cup, you have to still be filling up other cups first. being a worthy contribution to others, but also having others fill you as you progress. And that over the last couple of years, and we're just now getting back again, I think we realized just how relevant human connection is, in real life human connection as well. It's great that we can learn from podcasts. It's great that we can learn from virtual approaches and stuff like that. But the connection that you can make with people is nothing beats it. And it's almost a requirement to connection with other human beings. It's how we survive. It's how we then adapt to thriving opportunities, is when we have that real connection happening with us. You know, I've seen lately on some of my friends that are posting things where I can tell that they're the most knowledgeable people that I know. They're very smart. They're very savvy. They know a lot, but they're asking questions. Or, again, the same thing. Are they continuing to do the same? How to mix it up? So now we're asking, hey, anybody know how to be able to help me with this? I feel like I'm in this very, static way of being. And I have to get out of it. Like, am I in a funk? This is what happens when we're feeling all of these things: lost, irrelevant, aged out, tired, frustrated, hard. Now, I know I'm feeling all these things. I would have not put some of these right now. So I am not being the coach or the teacher in this moment. I am actually being the person that's saying, this is what I do when I'm in these situations. So I stop, assess, and redirect. And that's why our podcast today is called Course Correction, or Course Correct. And, when you're out, you guys, listen, it's been so long since I've been out sailing under the circumstances of everything are going on with the pandemic, and it just the economy and everything, being able to get away. I know that, that when you're out there and you are looking at a course direction, you have to have a bit of a plan, right? You have to have a bit of a plan, because there could be no wind, there could be weather. There could be, islands and other things that are kind of in your way, or certain times a year, especially out in the Caribbean, there's all of that seaweed that starts to form. You got to be very careful and be mindful of trying to steer around it and everything. And so you might have to do a course correction in regards to that. Now, sometimes when you're on the boat, you don't have the ability to just stop where you're at in the middle of the ocean to do a course correction, but you can just kind of like slow the boat down and keep it on an autopilot approach that has the intent of going in the same direction or the direction you're aiming for. And then to be able to assess if there's a storm coming, how to navigate around it, and redirect your course in that point. And that's really one of the things that I'm going to focus on this summer. I'm really going to stop, assess, and redirect. I'm not going to make assumptions that this is what people need anymore. I'm going to create content. I'm going to have people will have access to this content based on if it's the right content for them. I'm not going to try and oversell it. I'm not even going to try to do the big live selling and stuff. It'll just be content that's available to you if you choose to take it on. It's a form of passive income is how I look at it. Because I really do want to stop, assess, and redirect with what I want to be spending the majority of my time on, the block of time, because in that sense, I need to see some specific results. And it might be in a whole new direction. It might be something that I'm not even aware of right now. It might be really putting all of my energies into the salon. It might be starting up something new within my coaching business. I don't know. I'm open to just allowing something to come forth and to feel empowered by that ability to stop. Now, they say that I use in a lot of my emotional intelligence trainings is the SOS, stop, oxygenate, and seek. So no one to expect. It's hard. And not only are they really honest on it, because again, it's all day long, but look at what we're doing next part. And that's the breathe. That's really start to breathe and to just be present with yourself. No expectations, no beating yourself up, just allowing yourself to be. And then of course, when you get to that interesting space that is where creativity, where invention, where innovation comes in, this is when we start to seek. We seek answers, we seek solutions, we seek next steps to be able to implement, try, gather data, maybe do, maybe poll it, do the research before we just launch something. and take it to that next level. So remember the SOS: stop, oxygenate, and seek. And why do we want to do this? Well, we got to get back on course. We can't be, hanging out on the fence or flailing around out in the middle of the ocean with no destination or no purpose. And sometimes what it might mean is just that we need to be able to create a new course. And I'm at that place right now where I really, really, really want to take a break. I want to go on a hiatus. I don't even care if I call it a sabbatical, right? Now, there's always a point where if you can get away, that is an amazing opportunity to be able to separate yourself from all the things that you're doing and rejuvenate yourself. So I got a couple things planned for this summer. One of them, I'll be in Mexico next week, and I'll probably do a podcast live from Mexico, which will be great. And maybe I'll have a bit more fulfillment or maybe some inspiration while I'm there to be able to do that. But it really is a vacation, and I'm trying to use it as such. Now, will I be journaling, taking notes, meditating, walking along the beach and doing all of those things in order to kind of like clear my head and find that space to be in so that I can start to seek opportunities to come my way? Absolutely. But I also am a firm believer in going into more structured environments like retreats in order to kind of really manifest that opportunity faster. Okay. On vacation, I do want to shut down, but in a retreat, it's possible that I want to dive in really deep to my psyche and look for ways to be able to shift what I'm doing. That might lead to finding a mentor. It might lead to finding a coach, any of those things. Now, I'm not saying at all, step away from your life, take a break from your life, or go on a sabbatical from your life. It's just things that are consuming you right now, whether real or perceived. Okay. Because our brains don't know the difference. They don't know the difference of the level of stress we're in, that it's real or it's perceived stress. Is it boredom, or is it that there really is angst and anxiousness with you? So to be able to take on as little as possible, where you're investing an enormous amount of time, money, energy, effort, or resources, like really pull back from that. Can things run as they are if I step away for a little bit? Or am I such a control freak that I have to be involved in every step of the way and everything that's happening? And that in itself can create an enormous amount of anxiety and stress and unfulfillment when you are trying to control too many things. What also is happening is that you're not letting whatever needs to come in. Okay. You're not allowing things to just kind of like naturally fall into place. So the idea behind this is to just be with yourself, be present, be in your life. But just try not to be exerting too much of anything: control, power, expectations that kind of set you up to where you don't get the reprieve, or you're not getting the messages. I do feel like I have a very intuitive side to me. I have friends that are incredibly intuitive, and I would definitely like to get better at honing that skill. But this intuitiveness for me is I hear things. Okay. So I have that audio clairvoyancy in there and I hear things and I hear messages, and those messages then take me to that next space of, okay, I haven't thought about that, or I'll just be in the right place at the right time and something will come through. And I'm like, perfect. That's a perfect, opportunity for me to on this course correction. And I'm putting myself in the space of saying, I need to navigate it a little bit because I don't want to get too lost, but I'm going to put a little bit of it on autopilot and just see where it takes me. Just see if there is something else on the other side of it. So this week that's sold out, and you guys, sold out in my book is a very small, intimate gathering of people that I can work with them closely, one-on-one, spend that quality time with them in coaching and consulting with what their needs are to be able to do that. So this starts next week, and I'm going to be committed to that then for the next 6 weeks and work through with these particular clients. Then I'm going to be taking a hiatus for the summer. I still probably will be doing some podcasts. I'm not going to be doing any programs, but I did want to let you know that these are the things that I'm still going to be offering come summertime. So you can still download the free strategy workbook. And we're soon to be halfway through the year here. Okay. So we're definitely 5 months into the year. And I think that this is that moment in that space where we're like, it seemed like 2021 was definitely a better year, but now it's starting to feel like I might be behind the curve on what I need to be doing. So the strategy workbook, you can do it as a DIY option. Just, download the workbook, and I'll get you the link here in just a second. Download the workbook and put yourself through the process of being able to put together what you want this next 6 months or the rest of the remaining 6 months of 2022 to look like for you. Okay. Keep it simple. And remember that you're going to focus only on the big rocks that are going to make an impact for you in here. Okay. And here's how you set up a complimentary session for me. And I'll be opening that back up in July if you want to do a complimentary session with me. So you can get on my books now for July, but June is overcommitted at this point. But here's where you go, is to www.salonhiringsuccess.com, salonhiringsuccess.com. It will allow you to download the strategy workbook, and it'll also give you an option to be able to set up a complimentary session called, maybe you need a reset too. Maybe you're on a course correction right now as well. Maybe you need to be able to kind of see what you've accomplished so far to be able to decide where it is that you need to go. And I think it's a healthy thing for all of us to do. So, but sometimes we need support and assistance. Sometimes we need mentorship or coaching to be able to help us to really dive into that internal aspect of why we feel the way we do and what we are aiming for, what we're trying to accomplish in this world. So if you need a course correction, I could be your coach and help you on that course. I could be your captain and help you navigate that new direction. And I look forward to taking a little bit of sabbatical or time off over the next couple of weeks for sure. And then getting back on track on the tail end of the summer to be able to do that. But I do have openings for 5 or 6 people to be able to get on my books and have that support with that free strategy session. And then I'll open up more opportunities come fall. So as always, thanks for joining me, guys. And again, I'm gonna be live doing a live session from Mexico next week. So I'll actually be with that as my background. This is just a fake background right now, but next week it'll be a real back next week, the week after. And I look forward to then coming to you from that perspective and maybe having a different tone to my message and to my words. Okay. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me.